What is up, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Meat on the 50, and we are back and ready for week number 3, and we have some great games ahead of us this week and weekend, and we're going to break it all down for you right now. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Meat on the 50. I am your host, Jacob Cutler, the Fantasy Guy, and as always, joining me, one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan. Brandon, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just ready for another week. Still trying to get over the news of just Trey Lance and Ime Udoka. I got the 2-for-1 this week, so I'm pretty much at rock bottom, to be honest. But the only way you can go is up from here because, I don't know how, 2 promising seasons, and then it just seems like now we're going to be treading thin water and walking on eggshells throughout the year. So just taking it 1 week at a time, man, honestly. Just focused on Denver. And just happy about last week's result as far as with the win. But yeah, it's going to be a rough season, I feel like. But how you doing?
I'm doing good. I know the news was hard and heavy today. I know it's weighing on your heart. It'll be all right. The Niners are gonna bounce back this week, and then your Celtics will bounce back. So I know it's a tough day. It's a tough day in the Sullivan household. I know, but don't worry. The sun will always shine. So the Niners will figure it out, and your Celtics will figure it out. I am extremely confident in that. I'm doing good. I'm excited for another week of football. I'm always excited for another week of football when it's football season, but I am excited not only for football, but to share some exciting news with you all, right? An exciting expansion, an exciting addition that Brandon and I have made to our show, and we will get to that at the end, okay? We're not going to spoil the surprise first. But first, if you have not watched our Week 2 review episode, right? Number 1, what are you doing, right? Do that, right? Make sure you watch it. You got to know what happened in Week 2 so you can catch up on what's going to happen in Week number 3, right? And then we're going to just quickly recap the records from last week. So let's put it up on the screen for yourself. A solid 500 week, right? 8-8, going 1-0 on the guaranteed victories. For myself, 7-9, right? 1-0 on the guaranteed victories. The Buffalo Bills absolutely handing an ass whooping to the Tennessee Titans on Monday night. But overall, for the season, that puts us at, for yourself, 16-15-1, thanks to the Colts. 1-1 on your guaranteed victories. I'm curious to see what guaranteed victory you got for us this week because we got some good games. And for myself, sitting 3 games under 500, 14-17-1, going 1-0-1, thanks to the Colts on my guaranteed victories. I definitely need a bounce back week this week. So let's get into it. Let's just wipe those off the screen because I don't need to look at those anymore. So let's start us off, as always, on Thursday night for everybody yesterday. For us, happening right now, we got an AFC North matchup between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Dukies. What do you got for me?
Yeah, going into this game, I guess we can talk about it since it's wrapping up. But obviously, I picked the Pittsburgh Steelers. I thought that they'd be able to win. Unfortunately, it looks like the Dukies are pulling ahead, and looks like they're going to be able to win this game. I was hoping they'd lose. Don't like the Browns organization, so but oh well. Yep. I mean, not much to say about that game. Pretty boring. I caught some of it. I didn't really catch most of it. I was trying to stream it, but it's just two bad quarterbacks going at it, and it's just the tail of the running game, honestly. So Nick Chubb's a great running back, and I think that's pretty much why that they're in the position that they're in to win that game. But originally picked the Steelers, so it looks like I'm going to take an L there.
I'm with you. I was going with the Steelers. I thought the Steelers would go in there and somewhat be able to manage the Browns. Now, I have to say the Cleveland Dookies, they definitely know how to put up points. Jacoby Brissett definitely knows how to put up points. Maybe you should have invested in him and not Felity Hands over there, right? So we'll see what happens with the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. AFC North. Still kind of ironing out what kind of division it's going to be, right? It's still up for the grabs, I still believe. But right now, I was taking the Pittsburgh Steelers over the Cleveland Browns. It does look like we are going to take an L on this one, but that's the way that life goes. But we'll see what happens with the Cleveland Dookies next week. Moving on to Sunday morning, and well, I guess it didn't really end up like a snoozer like last week. So I'm gonna do some reverse psychology and try it again. Starting us off on Sunday morning, we got a snoozer, one that you can just kind of sleep through, right? We got the former Houston dumpster fire Texans taking on the Chicago Bears or Cubs, because they ain't ferocious at all. What do you got for me?
Yeah, not much to say about this game. The Bears aren't very good. The Texans aren't very good. Just going to go with the toss-up. I'm just going to pick the Texans. I just think that Davis Mills is going to be able to I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I am going to pick the Texans because I think Davis Mills is going to be able to do just enough, and that Texans defense, it seems to be pretty decent. And the Bears haven't done anything to impress me yet, but they don't have a whole lot of weapons. So I'll take the Texans in this one. I think they win this one 17-13.
The Bears have only completed 28 passes. They've only had 28 pass attempts in 2 weeks. 28 pass attempts in 2 weeks. That is horrible. That is horrible, and for that reason, you're right. It's the battle of two bad teams, but however, I do believe the Texans are the better of the worst teams. So I'm right. I'm right there with you. I'm going low scoring as well. I'm going Houston Texans 21-17, and hopefully we talk it into a good game. But on paper, snoozer. Our next game, and this is a good matchup because we have two teams who need a win in the worst way. We got the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to the Music City of Nashville to take on the Tennessee Titans. What do you got for me?
Yeah, just the Titans aren't a very good team. I picked the Raiders twice, though, and I'm 0-2 off of picking them. So it's unfortunate because, I tried rolling with them, but I'll try rolling the dice one more time with them. I mean, you would think that they would be able to beat the Ryan Tannehill Tennessee Titans. I mean, it just seems like, they are on the road. This could go either way. I'll just pick the Raiders 27-20. I think they do just enough, but I will say this: if they lose again, I'm gonna stop picking them because that's.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
One team out of all of them that I've picked twice, and they've lost both. I think so.
Yeah.
They should have won the game last week, but they kind of let that one slip through their hands. It seemed like they were the better team. But they're definitely a better team than the Titans for sure. So I'm going to pick the Raiders. I think that, they get their run game going and their defense plays pretty well. I'll pick them 27-20.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to go with the Raiders as well because I just don't believe in Ryan Tannehill. Just zero faith. Absolutely no faith. Like negative faith. If I could have negative faith, I would. So I'm going Las Vegas Raiders. Who need to win games desperately in this division. I don't know how much more we can stress this point that the Raiders need to win games in this division. Like, it just needs to happen. So I believe it starts on the road in Tennessee. So I'm going Las Vegas Raiders in a close one, 24-17, handling business. Hopefully handling business on the road there in Tennessee. So Las Vegas Raiders 24-17. Moving on to the next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs, who are also on the road, and they are traveling to the city of Indianapolis to take on the Indianapolis Colts, the struggling Indianapolis Colts. What do you got for me?
I do see this game as a potential trap game. I think the Colts have kind of been, they've been slipping a little bit, but this is the sense where the Chiefs could maybe overlook them a little bit, and so they are playing them on the road. But I am gonna, cautiously pick the Chiefs here. I think that the Chiefs, I think Mahomes is a good enough quarterback, and I think they have enough on the offensive side of the ball to take out the Colts. Not too impressed with their defense. I mean, I know that they got a pick six last week, but that was just a mental error by Herbert. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Kansas City here. I think Kansas City wins this one. I'm gonna pick them 31-24.
Yeah, right off the bat, we are aligned in the thinking. I'm going Kansas City Chiefs. I just think the Chiefs have looked too good in the last two games. And last year, I doubted them, and they started 5-0. So I'm just going to roll with Pat, and I'm going to roll with him until he loses. And if he loses here, then maybe next week we'll see what happens. But for right now, Matty Ice and those Colts, struggling to find an identity, struggling to just get pieces and everything aligned, right? That defense is also struggling. Being shut out by the Jacksonville Jaguars, who you did make a very good point on the week 2 review episode. I guess the Colts do always seem to struggle against the Jaguars. So maybe it could be a Jaguars thing. We'll see. We're going to get a better tail here against the Chiefs. But yeah, if Pat Mahomes looks like he did. Well, he does look like he did look last year. So I think he's going to start fast. So I'm going 35-21. Kansas City Chiefs handle business on the road on the East Coast, which I'd be curious to see what their record is on the East Coast. Moving on to the next game, we got one of the thrillers of Sunday. We got the Buffalo Bills getting out of Buffalo, getting out of the wind, getting out of the cold, right, and traveling down to sunny old Florida, to the city of Miami, to take on potentially one of the most exciting teams in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins. What do you got for me?
Yeah, this should be a good game, even better because Miami is playing at home, and Tua and that Miami offense is coming off of a stellar performance and a hell of a comeback against the Baltimore Ravens. That was really impressive in the fourth quarter. They were able to manufacture that many points and essentially steal the game. So give them some credit.
Basically,
they'll be riding the momentum train against Buffalo. But I got to roll with my guy Josh Allen. Just kind of what you're doing, similar to Mahomes, until he loses. I cannot vote against him. So I think it's a good game. I think it's a shootout. I think both teams put up a lot of points, but I'm going to pick the Buffalo Bills in this one, 35-28.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we're going to see either two things, right? Because usually off a performance like this, off a quarterback who's kind of suspect, right? Tua is not a proven quarterback in any means, right? So he's kind of a suspect quarterback, right? These performances after a big performance usually is a flat performance. So I'll be very curious to see how Tua performs. Now he is at home, so that definitely helps him out for sure. You really can't count this team out with the weapons that they have. With that being said, similar to the Chiefs, you ride with the guy who is proven to get the job done in the regular season. We're not talking playoffs, we're talking regular season. And I'm riding with Josh Allen, proven to get the job done week in and week out, and has looked amazing these first 2 weeks. And him and Stephon Diggs, that connection is definitely heating up, and that is a special connection. So Buffalo Bills, big game here, 45-38 in an exciting thriller on Sunday morning. Our next game up, we got a solid division matchup right here. We got the rising, potentially, Detroit Lions traveling to Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Vikings, who they need to bounce back because I wouldn't say they. A particular person needs to bounce back. What do you think happens in this one?
Yeah, I think that Minnesota does have that bounce back game at home. I think that they struggled last week, and give Philly credit. They have a really good defense, and they were able to kind of shut Justin Jefferson down and kind of force Kirk Cousins into some bad throws. So I expect Minnesota to bounce back against Detroit. I think Detroit's got a pretty solid team, and I think this is going to be really close, honestly. I think that this could go either way, but I'm going to roll Minnesota. I think that Minnesota, this is more of a must-win for Minnesota. I just feel like Detroit, they got nothing to lose. They got Jared Goff at quarterback. Minnesota, this is going to be kind of a season where if you don't make the playoffs, you got to try to start seeing, is Kirk Cousins that guy? Because they have so much talent on that roster. So I'm going to pick Minnesota simply because I believe that they need to win. And but it could go either way because Detroit did beat them last year. I think it was their first victory last year. They did beat Minnesota, so they play each other pretty well. Minnesota in this one. I think they get it done 27-17.
Ooh, okay. I like it. Yeah, I think you touched on a lot of big things there. Now one thing is, right, you normally play your divisional opponent slightly different than you play out of conference opponents because A, you play them twice a year, and B, you play them twice a year, right? So you're playing them every single year, twice a year. So that kind of where they're at, kind of what they're doing. I don't know. This one's, like you said, this one's going to be interesting. I mean, the Minnesota Vikings do need to win here because they need to show that, they are a serious contender in that AFC North, which is still very much up for grabs. I know Aaron Rodgers did his typical thing of just destroying the Bears, but that is just what we see year in and year out. So this division is still very much up for grabs, in my opinion. So Minnesota needs a win here. However, this is where we are going to differ. So I am going to roll with the Motor City Kings, the Detroit Lions. I'm going with a close one. I'm going 27-24. I like what I've seen. Obviously, Jared Goff is Jared Goff, so like zero belief, but he did produce 29 fantasy points last week. Solid performance. And I think, he has a decent performance. Now, on the road, this is going to be tough, right? In Minnesota, going to be tough. So I got a close game, 27-24. Detroit Lions handling business in a shocker on the road, which causes all of Minnesota to push the panic button on Captain Kirk. Just watch it happen. Next up, we got the Baltimore Ravens traveling to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots. What do you got for me?
Yeah, it's still haven't seen anything really, out of New England. I mean, they're just it just seems like they're kind of sleepwalking. They're kind of just going through the motions. I haven't seen anything stellar out of them. I think Baltimore uses last week's loss as fuel. I think they go into Foxborough, and I think they do beat the New England Patriots. I think they beat them pretty handedly, 31-17.
Yeah, there's really not much that we really need to focus on this game because you pretty much said everything that needs to be said about the teams, right? New England Patriots, flat, boring, nothing to write home about. Baltimore Ravens, very exciting, but shaky. Shaky as hell, right? And it's not even the offense, it's that defense. But yeah, 100% Baltimore Ravens on the road, looking to take out their frustrations on somebody, and it just so happens it needs to be the New England Patriots. I'm going Baltimore Ravens 28-14, handling business on the road. Going with a lot of road teams this week, it looks like. Next up, we got a team who needs a win in the worst way, taking on a team who has a bunch of momentum right now. Interesting matchup. We got the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to the Meadowlands to take on the New York Jets. What do you got for me?
Here's another team. Actually, it wasn't just, I think I picked Cincinnati both weeks too. So here's my thing. This is an absolute must win for Cincinnati. If you don't win this game, you're not going to the playoffs. So I'm going to write off of that. I'm going to say Joe Burrow understands that he has to win this game. You cannot let this slip away as well, because to be honest, I mean, looking at those opponents, Cooper Rush and then week 1, the Bengals should be marching into 3-0. They should. And so, I mean, they have the talent too, but got to protect that man. You got to get him some support. You got to block him. I mean, what happened with this whole revamped line? You got to get him some protection, because I see a line that's quite possibly worse. So, essentially as pretty as bad as last year. He's getting sacked left and right, and he's getting pressure left and right. So, gotta protect the pocket. Gotta give him some time back there. It's the New York Jets. I mean, they surprised everybody last week. I think they'll play Cincinnati tough, but I mean, like I said, you got to win this or you're in trouble. So I'm going to write off of that. I'm going to say that Joe Burrow gets it done. I think that the Cincinnati Bengals win this one 31-14. I think they do beat them pretty handedly. And I think that Joe Burrow gets that confidence back.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, I'm of course rocking with my team against the Jets. Now, they played the Jets last year, and it's one of the games that they choked. So I'm hoping we don't get a repeat performance, because they need a win. They need a win, and they need to come together. And I'm hoping that this is kind of the last week of kind of the preseason kind of feel. And then week 4 on out is that's the team that we're going to see. So let's get a solid bounce back win, a solid momentum win heading into week 4, heading into that Thursday night game, that short week against the Dolphins. I'm going Cincinnati Bengals in a guaranteed victory.
Wow.
I'm putting it on the boys. I'm believing in the boys to get the job done. 32-21, handling business on the road in a win that is a must have. If we feel like we're going to compete at all. Now, not saying they can't bounce back, but 0-3 and 1-2, big difference. So Cincinnati Bengals, 32-21, handling business on the road. Next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles, who look like one of the best teams in the NFC, traveling to Landover, Maryland, to take on the Washington Dumpster Fire Commanders. What do you got for me?
Yeah, this one, not impressed by Washington at all. They're whatever. Philly looks like a really good team this year. Jalen Hurts has been playing well. Never thought I'd say that, but he's been playing well. And that defense looks pretty good. So I got a guaranteed victory for you here.
Ooh, okay.
Do you think that the Philadelphia Eagles go into Landover, Maryland, and beat the Washington Redskins 34-28? I think that it's a close game towards the end, but I think the Philadelphia Eagles are able to beat the Redskins 34-28.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough game. This is going to be a big game for Philadelphia, right, against a divisional opponent. We'll see. big message game here for Philadelphia. If they truly are going to be one of the elite teams in the league this season, these are one of the games that you have to have. You cannot choke this game away. You can't let Carson Wentz throw the ball over the field. You can't let the running backs run all over the field. You have to come ready to play, and you have to come ready to get the job done. I mean, it's that simple. And yeah, rocking with the team who definitely looks like the best team in the NFC, in my opinion, the most complete team. Which is, yeah, you're right. It's odd to say, but within the first 2 weeks. Now, I'm not freaking out and saying that they're going to go win the Super Bowl and all that stuff. Definitely not going to do that because it's a long season, and thanks to the NFL, they added an extra week. So it's a long season. So we got time. Eagles have plenty of time to mess up. But for right now, I'm going Eagles 35-28 in a close game, handling business on the road. Next up, we got the New Orleans Saints traveling to North Carolina to take on the Carolina Panthers, who also need a win in the worst way. What do you got for me?
This one's a toss-up. This one was a tough one for me to pick because I feel like they're very, very evenly matched across the board as far as they got. I mean, they have a pretty similar quarterback comparison. They have a pretty similar running game comparison, and defenses are a little bit similar with a slight edge to the New Orleans Saints. But the Panthers are at home, so you would hope that the Panthers would be able to win this one. I'll ride with Baker one more time, just because it's a toss-up. Honestly, it's a flip of a coin for me. So I'm just gonna go who I like better, I guess, and I'll pick Carolina in this one. I think Carolina wins it, 28-23.
Yeah, I'm with you. So we'll see what happens here because this is going to be this is going to be an interesting game, I think, just because, Jameis is questionable with, his back issues and all that stuff. That defense needs a bounce-back game, but are they going to be able to produce on offense, right, and give that defense a rest? Carolina kind of is that team where, you kind of can, kind of take advantage of them and things like that. However, I do think that, Baker has played decent in the first 2 weeks. He hasn't played amazing, but he's played decent. He's played not bad. Dan Orlovsky, however, has a great video on ESPN exposing the Carolina Panthers offense, and it's fantastic. But the Carolina Panthers, hopefully they see that, because if they don't see it, we're going to cover it in the week 3 review, and it's going to be very alarming. So, but I'm like you said, I'm riding with Baker. I'm riding with the home team. I'm going Carolina Panthers 24-20, handling business at home. Moving on to the afternoon games. We got some good ones. First up, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars coming off a big win against the Colts last week, traveling to sunny Los Angeles to just stay in the sun. Lucky them. But taking on the Los Angeles Chargers of San Diego, who need a bounce-back win in the worst way. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I got the San Diego Superchargers here. I think that they are able to beat Jacksonville. I think that I don't really care who the quarterback is. I think Justin Herbert's going to give it a go, but I do think that they have enough on the defensive side of the ball to kind of contain the Jaguars, and also I think that just having Austin Eckler and Mike Williams and some of those weapons that they do have, I think that that's enough to give them the edge. I think it's a close game, but I will pick the Chargers 28-17.
Yeah, I'm rocking with the Chargers as well, but I'm going big. I'm going 42-24. We'll see what happens with Justin Herbert. Now, if Justin Herbert's out, it's definitely probably going to be a lower scoring game, and I definitely do think that defense will play a bigger role. But yeah, if everything's going, and even if he's hurt, Justin Herbert will handle business. I'm not really even worried about that. So I'm going Los Angeles Chargers 42-24, dominating the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. Next up, we got the other Los Angeles team, but they are on the road because you can't have two Los Angeles teams playing at home at once. That just doesn't make sense. So we got the Los Angeles Rams traveling to the desert to take on their divisional rival, the Arizona Cardinals. What do you got for me?
Yeah, the Rams haven't really impressed me. I think that they could have lost to Atlanta last week. I think that, Atlanta was able to really keep them on their toes and apply some pressure there. So, Rams, I don't know about them. I think that, their one Jaquowski Tart dropped interception away from not winning the Super Bowl. And, I think that you can't make mistakes like that. That's why he's out of the league. But, I'm going to take Arizona here. I think Arizona, they play at home. They're riding off of that momentum. I mean, that's a huge game. Think about all the confidence that they built after that game. Just knowing that they can will themselves to a victory after being down 20-0 at the half on the road.
Yeah.
In a hostile environment, because it's loud in Vegas. Raider fans, they're crazy about their team, and it's always loud at their game. So, being down 23-7, to know that you have to score two-point conversions after those touchdowns. And that's essentially, like I told you in the recap video, like scoring 2 touchdowns in a row, because you got to get in zone twice. So I'm gonna say it's a divisional game. Could go either way, and that's why it makes it more exciting. But I am gonna take Arizona here. I do think they win this one, 24-17.
Ooh, okay, interesting. All right, here we go. We got another difference of opinion. I am going to go with the Los Angeles Rams. I think they're starting to roll. We'll see what happens. The Arizona Cardinals, are they able to roll over the hump, right? You're right. That being down 20-0 at half and being able to come back from that definitely gives you a little bit of willpower in the tank. So that is something that we will have to watch out for throughout the entire season for the Arizona Cardinals, because we all know the Arizona Cardinals are notorious for starting fast and then just flopping on their face the last half of the season. So we'll see what happens there, but I'm going Los Angeles Rams 32-24, handling business on the road, and in a good game, right? A close game, a high-scoring game. Hopefully, let's get some more exciting games going. But yeah, I think the Los Angeles Rams, Arizona Cardinals, exciting game, but the Rams come out on top. Next up, now this, you want to talk about a snoozer. This one, I hope they just show like maybe 30 seconds on Red Zone. I don't need to see this game at all, honestly. If you want to watch this game, you can watch it on NFL Plus, or you can just stream it illegally. That's how they should show this game. We got the Atlanta Falcons traveling up to Washington to take on the Seattle Seahawks. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I mean, Seattle's not looking good at all. They, nothing's really going right for them. They should be 0-2. To be honest, I'm actually, now that I think about it, I'm actually glad they won week 1, because I don't want them getting a top pick. So, I mean, whatever. But I can't start rooting for them. Just to keep them out of the draft pick contention. But I want them to not get a high draft pick, but I can't root for that. I hate them. Yeah. More than myself. Yeah. The Lakers or the Seahawks. Probably Seattle Seahawks. So maybe the Lakers now, because Seattle's irrelevant. But it's like a toss-up. But back to your regularly scheduled programming. I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to take the Falcons. They came close against the Rams last week.
Yeah.
I think that they have, enough on their team to defeat Seattle. Geno Smith, you writing back now? What's going on? So let's go with Atlanta 28-17.
All right, I like it. Yeah, I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons. I'm not rooting for picking the Seahawks either. I'm going the Atlanta Falcons 24-17, handling business on the road. Not much from me to say on this game. Don't really care about this game. Like you said, Atlanta put up a good performance against the Rams. I'm assuming they'll do that against a much lesser opponent in the Seattle Seahawks. So we'll see what happens, but Atlanta Falcons 24-17. Next up, we got the thriller of the afternoon, and it should be a good one. We got the Green Bay Packers traveling down to Florida to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I think Mike Evans is suspended.
Yes.
I've been getting updates on Bleacher Report for some reason. The notifications are not coming through, so I might have to delete the app and re-download it. I don't know what's happening, but
yeah, you're gonna have to call the HR. Right?
I'm gonna have to call HR, but yeah. So, but here's the thing: it becomes more of a little bit of an even match now because Green Bay's got a bunch of retread receivers. So, I'm going to pick Tampa Bay in this one. I think just playing at home where they won their Super Bowl, I think their defense is good enough. I think it does come down to the wire. I'm going to pick Tampa Bay 31-28.
Yeah, I am right there with you. I'm going Tampa Bay, and I think they handle business. I think Tom does not have all his weapons there, right? With question mark on Chris Godwin playing. Obviously, Mike Evans is out. Leonard Fournette, we'll see if he's going to be able to play because he was on the injury report. So it's going to be interesting, right? But now, Aaron Rodgers did look good last week, but it was the Bears. Tampa Bay Buccaneers seemingly look like to have one of the best defenses in the league, and that's really propelling Tom to these wins. That's how he got propelled to the win last week with the defensive play of the Buccaneers. So I'm going Tampa Bay 24-21 in a super close game, a thriller. It's usually a really good game against Tom and Aaron. So I'm going Tampa Bay Buccaneers 24-21, handling business at home. Next up, we got the Sunday night primetime game that, certain two people may so happen to be at, watching, possibly vlogging from there. We'll see what happens. We'll see what's going on. We're going to test the waters, right? So we got the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the Mile High City, to the altitude, to take on the Denver Broncos. What do you got for me?
Yeah, I'm super excited to be able to go to Mile High. I've seen this stadium for so many years of my life, and I've always thought that'd be so cool to actually be able to check out that stadium. It's an iconic stadium, similar to like Lambeau Field, Soldier Field, the Superdome in New Orleans. Like, there's so many different stadiums where they've been around for a while, and they just have a special place in the NFL. So. Super excited to be out there with one of my best friends to hopefully, root on the 49ers, and hopefully we can, get a win. I think these two teams are pretty evenly matched. I think the 49ers definitely have the better defense. I'm curious to see how Jimmy G plays. I think, the team definitely has his back. I think that the locker room definitely has his back. I think he understands the offense pretty well, and I do believe everything is indicating towards George Kittle returning, which would be huge, especially on the road. His run blocking ability, and just being able to be part of that play action game. He's kind of like he's always been a safety net for Jimmy Garoppolo, and so I'm gonna pick. I didn't really like what I saw last week against the Denver Broncos playing the Texans. They didn't play very well. I expect them to clean it up a little bit, but I will pick my San Francisco 49ers. I think it's a close game, but I think we are going to win this one 31-24.
I like it. Yeah, I'm rocking with the Niners because I'll be honest, the Denver Broncos are not good. They're just not good. Nathaniel Hackett, not a good coach. Russ, we'll see what happens. Russ, I don't know. We'll see what happens. They are also getting some people back from injury, so that could be key for them. I expect an exciting game. I expect a close game, but the fact that Jimmy, it's different. If there's a backup quarterback who wasn't really with the team didn't really play, wasn't a starting quarterback for the team a year prior, it'd be different, right? But you can insert this guy and essentially be fully confident that he can get the job done. So I'm going to rock with the San Francisco 49ers. I got them handling business on the road, 27-24. Another close one coming down to the wire. But yeah, the defense is going to be key here, and I think that 49er defense is much better, much improved. So I'm rocking with them. San Francisco 49ers, 27-24. Next up, we got the Monday Night Football game to cap off our week, and it's a good one. It's a good one. We got the Dallas Cowboys traveling also to the Meadowlands to take on the G-Men, the New York Giants. What do you got for me?
Yeah, this should be a pretty decent game. I really don't have much interest, though. I really don't. I'm not a fan of either team. I never thought I'd be saying this, but I think that the New York Giants are going to win this game and go to 3-0. I think that, I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be a lot of close matchup this week. It's what it seems like. It could be the quite contrary. Everything could be a blowout.
It's true.
It does seem like there's going to be a lot of close games this week because a lot of these teams, I feel like, evenly matched.
So, that's a good way to put it.
Dallas and the New York Giants are pretty evenly matched. But I'm going to take the New York Giants at home. I think I'm going to pick the home team here. I think the Giants are able to win this one 24-20.
Boom!
Wow.
You gotta end it. You gotta end it on the last one, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Also, rocking with the G-Men this week, handling business at home against their bitter rivals. I'm going New York Giants, 24-20, handling business. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? The G-Men. Handling business, and good for them. Good for the G-Men, and we'll see what happens. But I got the New York Giants handling business at home, 24-20. And that'll do it for this week's episode of Meat on the 50. As always, Brandon and I, right, we want to thank you. Whether you're a returning viewer or a brand new viewer, we want to thank you for taking the time, for watching our video, for just hearing our thoughts, analysis, predictions, all that good stuff. We hope we have done enough to just keep you from coming back. But we got one last thing to announce, to go over, and it is the brand new addition to Meat on the 50, which is the concurrent audio podcast that is now going to be dropping with the episode. So now you're watching the video, Brandon, right? You're watching the video, right? You got a life, you got stuff to do, right? You got to go to the gym or something like that, right? You're watching the video. Oh, you can't finish it? Well, guess what? Go to Spotify, go to Apple Music, and just pick up right where you left off.
Oh yeah.
It's that simple. It's that simple. So, with that being said, Brandon, any last words for the people?
Super excited about the podcast. Thank you so much, Jake, for going through all the gimmicks and the loops and everything, to mazes to try to get it going. I know that they put you through everything when you're trying to sign up and all that. So
it was a gimmick.
You just putting that together, always putting the show together. It's always amazing. It's always fantastic. I appreciate you. Super excited to go to the game with you this weekend.
Yep.
I think whatever the result is, it's going to be we're going to have a great time, and we're going to be able to see an amazing primetime game. Who would have thought? Russell Wilson on the Denver Broncos. We're playing him again, and Jimmy G back as the quarterback. It's just crazy. If you had told me this a couple years back, I don't know if I would have believed you. But it's slated to be an excellent game. So I'm so thrilled to be able to attend that game with you. We got tickets such a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we've been waiting for this, and it actually came pretty quickly. So excited.
It did. Yeah, it snuck up on us. Well said. Yeah, it definitely snuck up on us. I am excited as well. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be a great time, and we're going to get some footage for you guys, and hopefully I can throw that together for you guys in a little vlog type thing for you guys. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for the podcast. Make sure you check that out on Spotify, on Apple Music. Couldn't be easier to see and to listen to. Super simple. And as always, you know what I'm going to tell you. If at any point you like what you saw, you know what to do. Just smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, and just tap on that bell notification. That way, anytime new videos drop, you're right there to consume the content, because we're dropping videos all season long, and we're just making content for you, because that's what we love to do and that's what we want to do. So we hope you enjoy, and that is going to do it for this episode of Meat on the 50. You know who he is, but that is one of my best friends, Brandon Sullivan. I am Jacob Cutler, the fantasy guy, and until our week 3 review video, enjoy Sunday. Hope you enjoy Thursday. Enjoy Monday. Brandon and Jake are out.